Good morning, good morning. Hmm, We are live. I believe we are live. Buenos dias. Okay, people, let's get this party started. Okay, can move the meditation cushion out of the way. And there we go. Hi. All right, let's come on to our hands and knees. Good morning, Danielle. I have two pairs of glasses this morning by my mat. All right. We're going to come onto hands and knees and then move into child's pose. So go ahead and drop your torso down to your thighs. Rock your arms back next to you, meaning down by your legs, and turn your palms up so that your shoulder blades protract or move away from each other, and the tops of your shoulders round towards the floor. Resting your forehead on the floor. And take a couple of breaths here in a somewhat fetal position. Seeing yourself as a seed. And recalling that a seed from a seed, I like to think of the seed of a sequoia because it's so tiny compared to the giant tree that it has the potential to become. And then walk your hands forward or slide your arms up so they frame your head. Press your palms down into your mat. And on your next breath in, rise up to hands and knees. And as you exhale, drop your hips down, bend your elbows slightly, and lift your chest. And on your exhale, move your hips back, taking yourself into that return of child's pose. Keep your arms extended, elbows off the mat, and then breathing in, come forward again. Drop your hips down, bend the elbows slightly, lift the gaze, and exhale, take your hips back towards that extended child's pose. You're going to do that 2 more times. Breathe in, move forward to up dog. It's more of a cobra pose because your thighs are on the mat still. And then exhale, take it back to child's pose. Extended but active child's pose. One more time. Inhale, cobra pose. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, extended child's pose. Next, inhale, come forward to hands and knees. Curl your toes under. Lift your hips up and back. Come into downward facing dog. Good. Allow yourself in downward facing dog some stillness, okay? Press into the mat with your hands. Lift your sit bones up and back. Your heels are sinking towards the floor, but they might not actually ever, and that's okay, touch the floor. Nice. And then from here, look back towards your feet and see your heels are behind the widest part of your feet. That's great. Good. Okay. So from downward facing dog, let's lift the right foot up into the air. And as you exhale, step that right foot forward between your hands. Help it if you need to get the right ankle beneath your knee. Rotate your left heel down. We're going to come into warrior one. So you want that left heel in the back to feel like it's at about 45-degree angle before you lift your arms up to frame your head. And keep letting that right knee draw forward over the ankle and settle into the outer edge and the heel of that left foot in the back. Okay? Breathe in here. Stay as you exhale. Now the back hip is rotating forward slightly, so you can take an internal rotation in that back thigh, that left thigh. And then that right knee is still moving forward over the ankle. Arms are lifted. Breathe in. And as you exhale, take your hands behind you. Interlace your fingers or hook your thumbs. Breathing in here, lift your sternum, the front of your rib cage. And as you exhale, bow down. Lift the knuckles towards the ceiling. On your next inhale, lift your arms up. Rotate that left hand behind you. Keep the right arm lifted. And as you exhale, take both hands down to your mat, framing that front foot. Lift your back heel. Good. Breathe in here. And on your exhale, lower your left knee down to the mat. Okay, you can uncurl the toes behind you and slide that left hip back towards the heel, straightening your front knee. So you're getting a little half split here. Breathe in here. And exhale, fold. Next inhale, come forward to low lunge, lifting your back knee. Stay here as you exhale. Keep the hand light on that left hand, thumb and fingertips. And on your inhale, lift your right arm into the air for a twist. Stay here for a breath. Good. And on your next inhale, let's circle that right arm back and forward. Good. And lift your left arm up. Rotate the back heel down, opening into warrior two. Nicely done. Good. Now, take your hands to your heart center. Let's straighten the front knee, lift the heel, bend the left knee, coming over to the back end of your mat. Good job. Breathe in here and out. Good. Now, if you can, you're going to push into that left foot to start to straighten the leg, or you might need to use your hands as an assist. Walking your right hand just past the pinky toe side of your foot. Lift off that back thigh, coming into Ardha Chandrasana, balancing half moon. Breathe in here. And out. Maybe look up towards that left thumb. And then rotate towards the floor, pressing back through the sole of that left foot for a standing split, folding forward. And then exhale, lower your left foot to meet the right, fold over your legs. Breathing in, lift up and sit back into Utkatasana. And exhale, stand Tadasana, mountain pose. Ooh, that was fun. Inhale, lift your arms up to frame your head. And exhale, fold forward over your legs. Breathing in, lift halfway up. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, step back to plank pose. Take a full breath in, plank pose. And exhale, lower your knees and your seat back towards your heels, extended child's pose. Breathing in, move forward. Drop the hips and thighs, bend the elbows, cobra pose. And exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg into the air. Exhale, step it up between your hands. Help it if you need to get that left ankle beneath your knee. Rotate your right heel down. We're coming into warrior one. So you got about a 45-degree angle in the back. Feet are hip distance apart, not on a tightrope here. Left knee drawing forward. And again, remember that right hip is rotating forward. The back thigh is internally rotating slightly. But you've got a nice connection from the outer edge of that right foot and heel into the floor. Left knee tracking over the ankle. Arms are lifted, shoulders are relaxed. Breathe in here and breathe out. Stay here. Nice. From here, take your hands behind you, interlace the fingers or hook the thumbs. If you've interlaced the fingers or hook the thumbs, switch your interlace so you feel the awkward. Breathe in and exhale. Bow. Lift the knuckles towards the ceiling. Good. On your next inhale, keep that left arm down this time. Right arm lifts up. And as you exhale, both hands come down to frame that front foot. Lift the back heel. Good. Breathe in here in low lunge. And on your exhale, drop your back knee or right knee to the floor. Inhale here, let the hips drop forward and down. Lift the chest and exhale. We'll straighten the left leg now, bowing into that half split. Breathe in and out. Next inhale, come forward to low lunge. Lift your back knee. Next time you inhale, let's lift the left arm into the air for your twist. And out. Good. Keep that right thigh strong in the back. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Take that left arm behind you. Then we'll circle it all the way up. Rotate the back heel down. Open your arms wide. Warrior two. Soften your gaze out over your left fingertips. Good. Take your hands to your heart center. Straighten the front knee. Good. Now we're going to parallel that back foot, right, towards the back of the mat. And slide over to that right side. And moving back to the front, let's take those left fingertips just past the pinky toe side of the left foot. Lift your right thigh, coming into Ardha Chandrasana. Just going to use my, this is in the way here. Breathe in. And on your exhale, both hands come down to frame or just in front of that front foot. Internally rotate your lifted thigh. And fold for a closed standing split. And then lower your right foot next to the left. Fold over your legs. Inhale, lift up, sit back, Utkatasana. Exhale, stand. Lower your arms, Tadasana, mountain pose. You're doing great here. Good. Breathe in. Lift your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana, upward worship. And exhale, fold forward over your legs, Uttanasana, intense stretch pose. Inhale, lift halfway up. And exhale, bend your knees, plant your hands, step to plank pose. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, lower your knees down, send your seat towards your heels, extended child's pose. Inhale, come forward, drop your thighs and hips, bend your elbows, keep your chest lifted, cobra pose. Exhale, take your hips up and back, come into downward facing dog. And breathe. Two more breaths here. Inhale, lift your heels. Look forward between your hands. Bend the knees slightly. Keep your hips high. Good. Stay here. And out. All right. Now what I'd like you to do is move right into Chaturanga. So full breath in. Come forward to Chaturanga. Bending the elbows back. Good. Drop your knees. Drop your forearms. All right. Doing this step by step. Drop your knees. Drop your forearms. Check that your elbows are lined up in front of or just beneath your shoulders, right? Curl your toes under, move into dolphin pose. Forearms down, hips lifted. Good. Then we're going to come back forward, try to move into Chaturanga. You can do that with knees down if you like, or lifted. And then press to plank and downward facing dog. Okay, let's do that again. Move forward to Chaturanga through bent elbows, knees down or lifted. And then drop the forearms down, lift the hips, dolphin pose. And then drop your knees down to your mat, send your seat back to your heels, extended child's pose. One more breath in here and out. Good. And on your next inhale, lift up to stand on your shins. We got the hip hugger belly hanging out. Curl your toes under behind you. But I read this really beautiful quote by one of my friends saying, don't mess with your temple. Don't mess with your temple. Your temple's beautiful. And by your temple, we're talking about your body. All right, take your hands behind you and let your thumbs kind of come towards the sacroiliac joints. You know, you can find the sacroiliac joints pretty easily, uh, especially if they're giving you trouble. The sacroiliac joints are where the sacrum rests in the iliac crest of the back of the pelvis. So if you take your hands back there, and you'll feel a couple of matching little nubby points, right? Your sacrum is resting there. That's the base of your spine, okay? And it's resting right there at the top of the pelvis between those two iliac crests. So you can take the thumbs just above there, wrap your hands around the front of your hips, your fingers around the front of your hips, curl your toes under, lift your sternum, squeeze your elbows towards each other, retracting the shoulder blades. And using the rhomboids, the muscles between them, to create a little more retraction and lift the sternum, the front of your rib cage. Breathe in here and breathe out. Good. Inhale, lift the collarbones. Exhale, squeeze the shoulder blades. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Good. Inhale, start to straighten. And exhale, uncurl the toes, sit back onto the heels, and pause. Upright, palms resting on your thighs. Good. All right, we're going to move that into a little bit deeper back bend. So with the hands on the hips here, you notice if the pelvis starts to really tilt forward. And then what I'd like you to do is engage between pubic bone and navel, the really deeper internal core muscles here. Um, the transverse abdominis and the rectus abdominis, right? So transverse going in from the sides and rectus up and down, okay? So feel in and up. And it's just kind of knitting this together so that we don't over tilt the pelvis anteriorly when we're coming into those back bends. That'll create a little too much tension in the lumbar, the low back curve. The lumbar spine is just above the sacrum. Okay, so hands at the pelvis, giving you that awareness of the tilt, right? Elbows back, broadening across the chest. Squeeze the shoulder blades together using those rhomboids. Lift your sternum. Good. Now, as soon as you do that, you start to feel the pelvis tilt forward. So remind yourself, engage. Even the pubic bone can press forward slightly. And squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the chest. You might curl the toes under here. Good. With that engagement in the low abdominal muscles, you can drop the hands back towards your heels, pressing the pelvis forward and lifting the rib cage. More external rotation in the upper arms. Breathe in and out. Again. One more in Ustrasana. Camel pose. And then chin towards the chest. Lift straight up to neutral, uncurl the toes, seat to the heels, drop down. Staying upright, just feeling the effects of that back bend through your spine. One more breath in here and out. Good. Let's take a brief child's pose, but wrap the arms next to your legs this time instead of forward. In your child's pose, really breathe all the way down. Imagine your breath moving past your lungs all the way down into the area of your sacrum. One more time like that. Good. Then press yourself up to sit and swing your legs around to the front. Okay, and once you've swinged, once you swung your legs around to the front, you can sit on the edge of a blanket here. It's kind of helpful. You can also fold your mat forward, and you can also bend the knees, okay? In your forward folds, if you're over flexing the lumbar curve, you can you can separate the thighs as well, okay? And what I'd like you to do is, let's separate the thighs anyway. So you're making a small V. Can you see that? So not a big wide V like this, just a small V. And sit up nice and tall here. And feel free to sit on the edge of that blanket as well and have the knees bent as well. Okay, if the hamstrings are quite open for you, you can push the backs of the thighs into the floor and you're projecting through the soles of the feet, either way. Okay, now breathe in here, lift the sternum like you're creating that back bend in your upper chest again. Engage the low abdominal muscles, tilt the pelvis forward. The spine will follow because we know it's rooted in the back of the pelvis. Through those sacroiliac joints. Breathe in here. And on your exhale, tilt the pelvis forward a little bit more. Even with the knees bent and action of the thighs towards the floor, we're still projecting through the soles of the feet. So you're active in the legs, pushing the thighs towards the floor. The knees do not have to fully extend. You're lifting the sternum. Okay, you're creating that action, the action of a back bend in your upper chest. And I'm holding onto my ankles. You can hold on to the tops of your feet if you like to. Feet swinged. The vocabulary this morning leaves a little to be desired. Breathe in and out. One more time here. And out. You might have gotten a little bit further forward, but we're still not rounding the upper chest. Beautiful. Next inhale, come up. Good. Let's take a little crisscross here. Shins at the front. Okay. You don't have to have a full crisscross or lotus position here. Just Sukhasana, easy cross-legged seat here. Breathe in and out. Again, propping up onto a blanket or a block is helpful here. We're going to take a twist to the right first. So take your left arm forward and around to the outside of your right thigh. Take your right hand behind you. Good. Breathe in. Lift the collarbones and the chest. And as you exhale, twist to your right. Maybe taking your gaze all the way behind you over that back shoulder, the right shoulder. One more breath here. Good. Let's unwind and go right around to the other side. Take your left hand behind you, sweep your right arm around to place the hand on the left thigh. Breathe in, lift your chest, and as you exhale, rotate the rib cage around to your left, looking back over the shoulder there. And just a few breaths here. Really contract your navel around in that twist. One more breath. And exhale, take it around to the center. Let's do just a little counter twist to your right. And then come back to the middle. Good. Lean back, place the soles of your feet together, slide your hands to the front of your shins, keep your knees lifted here, and tilt your pelvis anteriorly towards the front, towards the heels. Lift the chest, look up, and on your exhale, see if you can lead with the pelvis slightly forward. Good. Bring your knees together. Nice. Slide your feet forward. Separate them a little bit wider than hip distance. Lean back and rock your your knees over to your right. That left hip is going to lift. And then take it to the other side. Right hip will lift. Good. And then 1 minute, just 1 minute, come onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. Spread your legs out on your floor. Arms by your sides, palms up, push into the elbows slightly, bring the shoulder blades flat onto the floor behind you, supporting your rib cage. Take a deep breath in, maybe yawn, because I just gave you a yawn. Paying that yawn forward and relax. Just another 30 seconds so you can find in your time to chill. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Inhale, lift your right arm up and overhead. And as you exhale, roll over to your right side. Good. Use your left hand to push into the floor and come up. Good. Take one hand over the other, over the center of your chest. Bow your head. Good. Blink your eyes open. Stare at a point on the floor, just right at the legs, before lifting your gaze back into your space. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time, either here or over on the Soul Collective, where there's always classes for you to see in live or on demand. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye.